Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your January 2019 love reading. Don't judge me. It took me a minute. I was like, what are we doing? 2019 love reading, where we're going to look at you as well as your cross watcher. If you are a new subscriber, hello, I'm Princess India. And if you're an OG subscriber, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? I have to be extra. So we are going to look at an overall energy for you guys as well as your cross watcher. And then we're going to look at the energies going on between you guys as well. So we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance for Virgos for the month of January in reference to their love lives. And I ask for clear and direct guidance, Spirit. Anything that Virgo needs to know that's of utmost importance, I ask that come forth in this reading. And the first card is going to be for Virgo. The second is going to be for their cross watcher. Hi, cross watcher. First card, Virgo. Second card, cross watcher. I want y'all to know how gangster I am. I noticed that my eyelash is about to come off, and I said, I gotta go re-glue it. But I was like, let me just sit really far back away from my camera so they don't notice. So if you notice, just pretend that you don't. Let's just hope that it doesn't fall off, because that would be really awkward. And I'm not gonna re-record another video. I'm just gonna, mono lash it. Make it a new trend, you know what I'm saying? First card is for Virgo, second is for their cross watcher. Did I tell you what eye it was? Don't try to figure it out. First card for Virgo, second card for their cross watcher, please, Spirit. Whoa, that is way too many cards and we're not doing that. It's not funny. Okay. And just put it. I'm looking this way. I'm not taking them because they fell on the floor. I just did all of the work for nothing. I could have left them there. First card for Virgo, the second card, the cross watcher deck. That was something that I said. Let me not look down. For real? It don't never take this long for these to come out. What is about to come? Okay, thank you. You deserve love and make the effort. You are lovable. Great love is worth taking steps you're guided to take. First thing that I'm hearing with that is it's somebody that you guys want to go towards. The thing that's blocking you from going towards them is it's a worthiness issue, or just being tired of love. Oh my God. Separation, time apart from your partners on the horizon, and flirt. Oh my God. Oh no. I gotta redo that. The whole deck turned backwards. You're not taking the whole deck for the cross watcher. You gotta get that real. But anyway, like I was saying, and so it's kind of like a little bit of a mindset here. It's a little perceptive thing. You guys may be dealing with a Sagittarius person. It's more or less, I don't know, it's like kind of being tuckered out on love and not wanting to make the effort. But the message in all of this is that Spirit is saying that, you really deserve this relationship, whichever one is in mind. And I'm saying this, devoid of the cards on the pull. But the whole key is here, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive for your cross watcher. But, okay, so this is getting more interesting. Okay, so the whole thing is that you're reluctant to make the effort because it's kind of being burned out on love, so to speak. It's being burned out on love and, not wanting to engage or do too much or step out too far, so on or so forth. But the thing is, with this particular person, it's worth the effort. And the message that Spirit has in all of this is that you deserve to have a love situation like this with this specific type of person. And now when it comes to the cross watcher, the thing that I'm hearing for y'all is if you're dealing with a Virgo where they're not maneuvering the way that you would desire them to maneuver, it's like, don't cross your own boundaries and disrespect yourself by trying to meet them where they're at, because they need to be making the effort towards you, pretty much. So it's like, you know, if you're interested in someone, well, not someone, but a Virgo person, cross watcher, and, you know, they're not calling you a lot, or, you know, or even, and I'm not saying nothing bad about my Virgos, but, you know, just gotta throw this out there. Or if they're, you know, like if they're asking you, they're not asking you on dates, they're just asking you to go to their house or something like that, and y'all have never been on a date before. It's like, don't try to interpret their actions like, oh, they're scared, or blah, 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 and making excuses. It's like, clearly they need to make the effort. So if you have a certain standard of how you feel a partner should approach you, don't diminish your standards just because you're trying to build a bridge for them, because they need to be making the bridge for themselves, if you feel what I'm saying. And that's not for all my Virgos. That's just for, you know, those little stragglers that don't watch me, but they're cross watchers too. But anywho, but it's just maintaining your self-respect, cross watcher. So now we're going to look at the energies going on with you guys. We have the World reversed first for Virgo. So there's a cycle that's supposed to be ending in your love life that is not ending. And I think that's mostly because whenever the World reverse comes up for me, there's a lesson that needs to be learned from the last cycle that isn't being learned. And I feel like it's more or less because it's just a alternative perspective that needs to be taken in so many words. Then we have appreciation in reverse. Blossoming abundance in reverse. What's going on, Virgo? Cross watcher, first chakra in reverse. Goddess in the moon in reverse. Daughter romance in reverse. This is interesting. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, Virgo. This is telling you the source of your problems. And literally every single one of these cards is telling me what is the reason for every block that you typically experience. Is needing to make the effort in another direction, or make the effort to actually learn. Like when something ends in your life, as opposed to clinging on to things that have ended or something that isn't working, because it's a lot of an energy of like beating a dead horse. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, it's like it's beating a dead horse with certain situations, and almost putting effort into the wrong stuff. It's like putting an effort into staying stuck as opposed to growth. But it's a lack of not being present in the moment. So it's more or less like when I'm in less than stellar situations or unfulfilling situations, as opposed to doing something about it, I disassociate. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like the energy I'm picking up on. It's like I just, you know, kind of blank out. So I leave out of the present moment and either go to the past or go to the future, and I'm not really dealing with the problem. And the whole lesson in this of what's holding you back from the new cycle that you could be in, and I feel like because this new cycle is blocked, right? Because it's a lack thereof of learning this lesson, you know what I mean? Of moving on from things that are clearly stagnated, that's the reason why blossoming abundance is appearing in the reverse, because this is like showing me the skewed perspective. You know what I'm saying? The lesson isn't learned, so the cycle hasn't turned over, so we're still in the old energy. So when we look to the future, it still looks to be continued, not abundant, right? But the whole thing is, Spirit is pointing all of this back to this. So there's a need to, there's a need to know that you deserve more than dead things. You know what I mean? It's like stagnation, or when something is no longer serving you, it doesn't mean work harder. It doesn't mean put whipped cream on shit. You know what I'm saying? It's accepting it for what it is and moving forward. You know what I mean? Because you deserve better than that. Yeah. See? Because you're free to go. So it's kind of like standing stuff past its expiration date. But it's like, this is a theme that comes up for Virgo a lot, or had last year. And it's trying to maintain that exterior look of things. But on a heart level, you're not really happy. It's like you want that abundance, but you feel like the abundance is so out of reach for you. But the truth is, the only reason why it is because of feeling as if you don't deserve it or that can't happen for you. So the effort that needs to be made is in the direction of what it is that you actually want, as opposed to trying to put duct tape and chewing gum on what you don't want, if that makes sense. And clarifying the world reverse is adjacent possibilities in reverse, and that's that limited perspective. It's almost like staying in a stagnant energy for so long when you don't have to, BTW, because with all tied up in reverse, that's saying that whatever it is that you're putting effort into, you don't have to do that. But you putting effort into the dead thing is what it is that's holding you back from having a myriad of possibilities that you could have and the abundance that you do want, because it's just putting effort in the wrong direction when it comes to the relationships that you're in. So to me, this is almost like with this person, the reason why you're not putting effort in with them is because you're tired out and drained, because you spent a lot of time in the past putting a lot of energy into things that weren't in your highest good. So it's feeling that you're tired of love, or trying to make love relationships work. But the key is here, you were putting a lot of effort into unrequited situations, like people who didn't feel what you felt. And you are another person who I would say should go watch the post that I put up on Instagram today, because it talks about that. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's putting so much into situations that are in essence toxic because there's no reciprocity. And that's why, so it's almost like attaching this belief to love when the issue is really loving the wrong people. It's not love in general, it's loving the wrong people. So the whole thing is here, and I mean, I'm seeing the same thing for your cross watcher as well, because it's kind of like you guys are two sides of the same coin, so to speak. You know? If I could get this card to clarify this blossoming abundance spirit, that would be wonderful. But the whole thing that I'm saying is that the energy is here for you to take hold of. It's just the only thing that's holding you back is you. Like, you can have everything it is that you want in a relationship. Yeah, there you go. That's you making the effort. The thing is that Spirit is telling you one thing and you're not doing it. So I'm not telling you anything that's foreign to you. A part of you knows this, but I feel like this is just like the pat on the booty that's telling you to go in this new, going into something that's more in alignment with you. Because it's like on a spiritual level, it's like you know this, but now there's a need for your action to catch up with what it is that you know. So this is more or less like a mirror reflection. You are free, you are not bound, you don't have to do this, but you have to come into the awareness that this is what you have been doing. That's what's stopping this new, like, fresh cycle from starting over. That's what's blocking your possibilities, and the reason why your outlook in reference to love seems bleak and not abundant is because of this perspective and this stagnant energy that you're in. But because you're free to go, the moment that you make an effort in the direction or make effort in alignment with, or I'm trying to think of a better way to say it, it's more or less when you make an action that is a statement of the phrase "I am lovable." When you make a step in that direction, that's when you will turn the world upright. That's when all the doors open, and that's when you can step into your abundance. But there's a need for you to take action in alignment with this deserving energy, because what you did in 2018 was the opposite of what it is you were trying to get. You know what I mean? So this is kind of like a personal accountability type of thing. This is what you were doing wrong. This is what you need to do to make it right. But it's all the power is in your hands. So if you want to change this, you start making action steps in the direction of that, and everything's going to shift. So there's no need to have a bleak outlook, because like I said, it's not love in general. It's just the situations that you've chose to infuse love into, and it not being reciprocated. Now, with your cross-watcher person, love yourself first, because this is, your cross-watcher is learning the same lesson, right? But the issue is with the cross-watcher is they're not stepping into their truth because there's childhood wound issues here. So there's either an overactive or an underactive root chakra. So for the cross-watcher, it's self-doubt as well. And it's a desire for security and stability and looking for validation a lot of times in relationships. And the daughter romance is in reverse. Because I don't know if you guys are dating or if you guys, just met each other, or stuff just isn't panning out. Is there's some personal work that needs to be done. The cross-watcher has a intuitive gift, and they're not attuning to it. You know what I mean? And I think that's why this whole thing of this self-respect and you making a statement with your self-respect of not compromising yourself to try to meet Virgo where they're at. Because Virgo is doing their thing, and there's things that the cross-watcher needs to focus on as well. One is listening to your intuition, but the reason why you have trouble listening to your intuition is because there's a lack of trust in the self. So it's an instability in one's, not an instability, but more of an insecurity. How do I want to say that? In your judgment, it's like you don't trust yourself in so many words. You know what I mean? And I think that's why you feel like the Virgo person should be stepping up, but it's almost commonplace coming from this wound for you to self-compromise for love, right? But the reason why Spirit is blocking this door is because there's a lesson for both of you to learn in this. So I would say that a tad bit, both of you are kind of being a catalyst for each other in so many words. But I mean, I do feel like once you guys kind of notice this in yourselves and the role the other is playing and, kind of reflecting this to the other one, I do feel like this could work out and be a successful relationship. Because if all these cards are upright, if all of these were in the upright, it's like it's a dope connection. You know what I'm saying? It would be appreciation for each other, a fresh new energy, building a relationship like from the ground up, from a stable place. And it would be, a romance that's extremely abundant. So all of those elements of the Lord, all of those elements are here. I just knocked the card off the table. But all of those elements are here, but there's just a need to do a little bit of healing work. But I don't know, dude. I don't know what it is. Oh my God, what is going on with my cards here? Financial constraints. Yep. That's most certainly root chakra issues. Whenever, whenever you have issues with finances, that's a root chakra thing. I just said that in somebody's reading. whoever I did right before this. I don't remember who it was. I forgot just that fast. But it's like you're coming out of that. So, but then the moon goddess in reverse has the cornucopia in reverse, and that's a lack of wishes being fulfilled. But it's like presently, I feel like the cross watcher, if you take this stand, it's like energetically that's shifting things for you. That's shifting things for you. Like starting to heal that root chakra blockage is going to start changing things for you, because the reason why there's a lack of abundance or wishes being fulfilled is because you're not attuning to your higher self. You're not listening to your intuition. And then there's a part of you that should be using your gifts. So it's like psychic gifts in so many words. And so there's it's a failure to follow through on that, whether it's listening to your intuition or you utilizing your intuition in the sense of your calling, and your wish is not being fulfilled because it's rooted in this self-doubt, and that's also messing with your finances. But the moment that you start to do work on this, if you're not doing it already, the first place that you're going to see things start to turn around is in your earning potential. But the whole thing I'm saying is here, whether you guys are like dating or in a relationship, situationship, whatever the case may be, both of you are acting as a catalyst for each other. But once you guys start taking steps in the direction of this personal work, it's like you have all of the elements and the pieces to have a successful relationship. There's just a little bit of healing that needs to be done. But the thing I was saying was, as I noticed energetically, it's really crazy energy in January. I don't know what is going on. It's almost like, I don't know, it feels like it's the 13th month or something. Because although all these energies are here for shifts and, abundance and whatnot, it seems like most of the blessings and things of the sort are coming in the form of material things. But in love relationships, it's that same element for me where the energy is there, but it's just kind of stuff like residue of things that were carried from 2018 into 2019 that have to be dealt with in order to, literally turn everything upright. So the energy is here, but it's blocked because there's remnants of things that need to be closed out, faced, and dealt with so that you can kind of open the door to let the energy into your life, so to speak. But all the elements are here. So I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. All of this looks really good. Like I said, if I turned all of these cards upright, this is ideal in a connection. So I feel like whether this is somebody that you're with, someone that you're dating, or even someone that you're going to meet, and most certainly if it's someone that you're going to meet, y'all going to come to each other nice and healed, and then have a nice foundation to come together on, because there'll be a commonality and an understanding between the two of you in the sense that you both healed those same areas in your life, right? So there will be like a commonality and understanding. And even when it comes to relationships to cross-watcher, with the 5th chakra in reverse, there would be an inability to speak up for yourself and speak truth. So this is almost like one of those your rejection is your protection type of things. It's like any blocks that you've had in romance, whether it's with this person or whatever, it's been a protective thing, because if you were to walk into a relationship with you feeling insecure, not trusting yourself, with you not listening to your intuition and thus not being able to speak up for yourself because of this lack of trust in the self, you would end up in a very toxic relationship. And that's why your overall energy is love yourself first, because spirit is trying to protect you, and I would even say like spirit is holding up a mirror to you too, to show you a pattern that you're often falling into and what the root of this pattern is. And that's why I think that this whole reading is like really bomb, is because for whether it's Virgo or the cross watcher or whichever row you resonate with, it's just the simple fact that Spirit is holding up a mirror and showing you the mistakes that you've made in the past and how to right those. And then on top of that, Spirit is saying, this is where you went wrong, right? Here's this catalytic situation where I'm showing you that this where you've gone wrong. Now I'm offering you two choices based on seeing where you went wrong and where you can go right. And if you make the choice to go in the direction opposite than the way that you used to choose, you instantaneously can have a situation with a person who understands the struggle because they're going through it too. You know what I mean? So this is ideal. So this is more or less like a test of wills. So if you guys were deciding coming into 2019 that you wanted, you know, to approach things differently, this is like my is not is paradigm. This is the is not, right? It's the void that comes in, the non-idyllic situation, so that you can make a statement to the universe that you are really legit about what you want to do, which for Virgo is you exacting your self-love by making the effort for yourself and choosing in the direction of your own lovableness. And for the cross watcher, it's you making yourself a priority and not diminishing your self-respect for the benefit of another person, right? To gain another person's approval, self-compromising for the benefit of another person. Now, if both of you can make a step in the direction of your self-love, worth, respect, and value, that then becomes a statement to the universe that now brings out the is not, because you're no longer putting energy into it or stepping into alignment with it. You're stepping into the is, and that thus brings the is into your space and manifests it in your life. That's when all of these cards turn upright, a new cycle starts, the abundance comes in, and the door to romance is open, right? So all in all, it's just a little bit of personal work that needs to be done. But other than that, this is looking really good, right? So this is like a mirror effect type of situation. I like to see situations like this because I feel like when people move forward in relationships such as this one, they're built on a very strong foundation in the fact that you both know similar pains, and because you were the recipient of that type of pain, you're less likely to exact it on someone else because you know what it's like. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful commonality there. So I'm going to throw out the dice of resonance, which has all 12 zodiac signs. It has a clarifying die, well, two clarifying die for sun, moon, and rising, and then different roles that people can play in your life. And then you have the ability to ask a yes or no question. So if you want to do that, go ahead and pause me now and think of your question. I don't interpret them. I just toss them out, and how they resonate, But all in all, this is a really good reading, Virgo. I want to drive that home. Of course, it's not like, oh, they're going to come with roses and sweep you off your feet. No. But this, to me, this is practical, and this is real love that has the ability to grow into something amazing. So this, to me, is like the best reading. Just saying. And I don't even have Virgo in my chart. Okay, that fell on top of that one. All right. We have Sagittarius. We have Gemini. We have Moon. We have Crush and No. So the person can be a Gemini Moon or a Sagittarius Moon, Crush and No. So however that resonates for you, my dear. But Virgo, that has been your January 2019 love reading. I love your freaking face, my dear. Get yourself loving on. And it's just as simple as making a choice to go in that direction. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Is that easy? It could be. But anywho, that's been your reading, my love. I will see you guys sooner than later. Enjoy your year. Deuces.